Yeah, good evening and welcome to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. I'm Jamie O'Hara, and him over there, Jason Cundy.
Has anyone seen Saliba and Raya?
What? You want to do it again?
Saliba and Raya, what are you doing? Carriers. Throwing stinkers for the biggest game of your careers.
Oh, dear. It ended 2-2 at the Emirates between Arsenal and Palace, live on talkSPORT. Trossard, he scored again. Does he start next week? What are we thinking? Plus, William Saliba, another howler. He done it against Real Madrid. PSG going to be licking their lips. He's got to sort himself out. And Palace, on the other hand, biggest game of the season against Villa on Saturday. Is it fair they only got 2 days rest? The more I think about it, the more I think that's out of order. Also, we're going to take a look at Leeds. They could get rid of their man who's just gotten back into the Premier League. What's going on? We'll also talk about Kevin De Bruyne. Absolutely wants to stay in the Premier League. Maybe Aston Villa. They've been linked with him. Maybe Arsenal. What do you think? Get involved in the show. 03 717 22 33 44. Hello, mate.
How you doing?
I'm all right, matey. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you very much.
What have you been up to?
What I've been up? No, nothing, mate. Nothing worth telling. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not interested, mate.
Nothing worth telling.
You got the most boring life
ever,
ever,
mate.
mate.
China. The old China plate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all good.
Let's get stuck straight into it.
Let's
no one cares about us, mate.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't think they do. Actually, to be fair. Yeah, look, let's get stuck into it. We've watched the game tonight. Arsenal against Crystal Palace. 2-2 in the end. I thought Palace done well. Look, Arsenal have got a massive game coming. I get that. One eye's on it. You can't get away from it. The Premier League's over. They know that. But look, they put in a really good performance against Ipswich, and I enjoyed watching the game tonight.
Yeah.
Not great, was it?
Do you know what, right? So there won't be too many Arsenal fans, I'm guessing, listening to this, that care too much about what happened tonight, because the league's over, right? Everyone come through unscathed, right? Everyone come through unscathed from what we can see. What would annoy me is there were points of that game that Arsenal should have gone on and won that game quite comfortably. And there'll be a little bit of me looking at that Saliba mistake he made at the edge of the box. Yeah. David Raya I don't think I've ever seen him in an Arsenal shirt look as shaky as that.
He looked really bad.
He did. Yeah. I suppose in some ways, get that performance out the way. But you got the biggest game of some of these players' careers, and the biggest game in Arsenal's history since the last semi-final, of course, in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
We're talking, 13, 14, whatever many years ago.
Do you think they're a bit rattled?
I don't think rattled. It was just an odd...
But David Raya was giving the ball away for fun.
That was a very strange
Saliba, two big mistakes. It didn't matter against Real Madrid because they got through. Yeah. Tonight, it did matter. Mm-hmm. But it's two mistakes he's made with the ball around his feet. Yeah. And what he's done there is...
He's done exactly the same thing as when he got Vinicius Junior. But
PSG now, building up to that game, they'll sit down, they'll go, let him have it. Yeah. Let him have it, and we're going to go and press him. Yeah. He's shaky on the ball. And no matter what he thinks, whether it's a pre-season friendly or whatever, who cares, Saliba's going to have that in his mind that he's made two mistakes.
And I was listening to Benty on the way in and Goldstein, and Benty made the point by saying, look, you want a good performance. The result does matter, even though in terms of the league, it doesn't really, because Liverpool won the title. But what you don't want to do is make a bit of a howler. And go into that game, and he's made a howler. Yeah. David Raya's positioning as well.
What's it feel like making a howler? Because you used to make quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not playing a game like Champions League, right? But imagine going into the next game, the biggest game of your career. Yeah. And you've made a similar Rick as you did against Real Madrid, right? Getting caught in possession. You don't want to start a little bit shaky, mate.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about when I've had a bad game, and I've had a few. But I almost think if you're, a good professional like these boys are, and they are top professionals, they can't wait for the next game because they want to put it right.
Of course. Things that will be all right tonight, mate. Tonight's performance, I'll tell you what, Arteta, he'll be annoyed probably. I'm looking forward to listening to his presser. I think he'll be a bit annoyed about that because he's a perfectionist. He wants to make sure he finishes second because I think he'll finish first. There is a chance, small chance, City might catch them. To me, it doesn't matter whether you finish second or third. If you don't win it, as long as you're in Champions League spots, for me, second or third, it's neither here nor there. Biggest game is next Tuesday evening, mate. I'd be a little bit annoyed that they're making basic errors. David Raya's starting position versus a brilliant goal from Mateta. He's miles out of his goal. I know. He's ridiculous. Where's he going?
Don't know.
Yeah, he's right the other side of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, don't know where he's going.
Yeah, very odd. But listen, Arsenal fans tell us if they're that bothered. I'm guessing they'll be a little bit annoyed. More than bothered. I'd be annoyed at that. Yeah.
Just on Crystal Palace, I thought they played well. It's only right we talk about them. They put a decent performance. They had a good season. That they got a massive game coming up on Saturday. Do you think it's a bit harsh that They got to play Aston Villa, in a cup game, and Aston Villa have had a full 24 hours rest.
Well, if they get into Europe, there'll be games like this.
But they're not in Europe, Jack.
I know, but what I'm saying is, don't complain. They've had enough time. It's Wednesday to Saturday. Champions League teams, you think about Thursday to Sunday. It's exactly the same. Teams will play. Man United and Spurs and Chelsea all play on Thursday, all got to play on Sunday. So what? So deal with it. Come on.
Do you think?
Yeah. Deal with
it's
it.
not a European week, is it? It's a cup week.
I know. When were they supposed to play it? They had to play it this week.
They could have played it yesterday when Aston Villa played.
Yeah, but Aston Villa were on telly yesterday.
So?
No, they weren't. Listen, how much do Sky and the TV companies pay? Right, these football clubs now. They'll tell you when they're going to play. They're not playing on a Thursday night. Playing on a Wednesday. It ain't the worst, mate. It's not.
No?
Nah.
You're not having it?
No, I'm not having it. No.
You're not having it as an argument at all?
It sounds like Glasner might be getting his excuses in early. It's moaning about it. Everyone knows that you can play on a Wednesday and play on a Saturday.
Yeah, but but Aston Villa play on a Tuesday and play on a Saturday. They've got 24 hours in football, mate. It's a long time. No, especially for rest and recovery.
Don't buy it, mate.
No, you're not having it?
No.
Because they've got to come in. Well, basically, they've got to start recovering now, instantly. It's all about Saturday now for Crystal Palace.
Right.
They've probably, some of them might go back to the training ground now, recover. Tomorrow, recovery day. They're going to have one training session, half a training session, really, before they play on Saturday.
Jay, honestly, mate.
Half a training session.
Jay,
they've got.
Just honestly, I don't.
No, you're not having it.
I'm sorry. Teams do it on a Thursday, play Sunday. Teams play Champions League on a Wednesday and play on a Saturday. It's what happens. It ain't the worst.
Yeah, but them teams have got squads. Palace,
Look at me. Sorry, I couldn't.
No,
I've got no sympathy. It's what it is.
All right.
It's what it is.
Well, Crystal Palace fans can have their say on that. I think they've been done by a little bit, to be fair. Let's go to Bickham, though. He's an Arsenal fan. All right, Bickham?
Hello, mate. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
All right, Bickham.
What do you want to say?
So I was a little bit disappointed, obviously, like Jamie said, with the performance. We played really well against Real Madrid, 3-0, 2-1. But, when it comes to a team like Crystal Palace, why couldn't we just, see out the win, get the points? It's quite disappointing. But Crystal Palace have got some good players, I really think Eze is wasted at Crystal Palace. I'd really love him to come to Arsenal. I think he'd fit really well within Arsenal space. But yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm just really worried about next week because can we keep that maturity, that focus, because the players are much quicker and younger in PSG. They're not. I don't think they're a mature team, but I think they're a very kind of aggressive team. Whereas we sometimes lack that focus, so it's going to be challenging.
Are you worried about a little bit about Saliba? Couple of mistakes and like sloppy on the ball. Now, maybe you could say the Madrid game was over. Tonight you could say, do they 100% care? Because the league's over. But you can't be making that mistake against PSG next week. You're in big trouble.
Do you know something? I love Saliba, but sometimes I think there's a little bit of arrogancy within his play. And that's what really annoys me because he knows he's a top-class defender and I think sometimes he thinks that the players that he's playing against are under him and he should never underestimate it. I don't think it's sloppy play. I think it's arrogance sometimes with him. I think that he thinks that he is better than them and they won't be able to catch him out. But obviously, we've seen now a couple of times. I mean, we had that record. It was really good. Real Madrid never scored against Arsenal. But because of him, that record's gone now. So, I don't know.
I mean, look, it was a funny game tonight for so many reasons. Arsenal have got a bigger game coming up next week, and so have Palace. And both, Palace, it doesn't mean that even if you'd won tonight or lost tonight, it's not going to make any difference to your league position. It was a bit of a strange game, and I suppose going into it, a draw isn't the most surprising result in the world. I thought Palace deserved their point, in all honesty. But I've got a question for you, Bicker, right? And also to other Arsenal fans. Looking at the midfield with Partey being out, does Moreno drop slightly deeper and Trossard? He scored, 3 goals now in 2 games, Trossard? Yeah. Does he naturally now start down the middle against PSG?
Oh, that's a tough one. It depends on who's going to be playing at the back for PSG, really. I couldn't.
No, but you don't know that until the team sheet comes out. So what? Arteta can't think about that. He's got to think about what's best for Arsenal.
So he's got to see who they've got and who potentially they could play. Really,
it's not going to matter.
He's got to make that decision. Yeah, but I think he plays well out from the outside, not from the middle.
He scored 3 goals in 2 games.
I think Kevin De Bruyne, right?
Yeah,
I've got a lot of respect for that guy, and I think he could come to Arsenal and be really valuable.
I said this the other day, mate. I said this the other day. Don't be surprised if Kevin De Bruyne ends up at Arsenal Football Club. Arteta knows him. They're a big football club. And they pay the wages. Yeah. If he's had an interest and said that he was surprised that he's not been offered another year, he wants to stay in the Premier League, I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing for Arsenal next season. I wouldn't.
I'd love him to. And don't laugh at me now, but do you know who I really think we could do with? And everybody's always saying we need a striker. Yeah. Do not laugh at me.
No, promise. Listen, we promise we won't laugh.
Man United.
Who's that?
Rasmus Højlund from Man United. Højlund.
What?
Man United are selling him for 30 million, apparently.
No, I wouldn't avoid that one.
Do you not think?
talkSPORT breaking news.
No, I'm not convinced. You were doing really well up to that point.
It's a great call. It's a great call.
You've gone from a 9 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10.
We had you down as a 5 out of 5 here, mate.
Number 3.
You just knocked yourself down to a 2.
Guys, can I just tell you one thing else as well?
Back in the queue now.
I've just qualified as a academic doctor.
Oh, have you? Okay. What does that mean? What's an academic doctor do? What does he do?
So I researched on what the role of a football agent is in commercial representation.
Right. Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing.
So you're not a doctor?
I am.
What do you mean you research about football agents?
Dr. Bickham?
Yeah. Yeah.
But hold on. Am I being stupid? You're researching about football agents?
Yeah.
So how are you a doctor?
He's a doctor.
So I did a PhD.
Yeah. He's got a doctorate.
Right. So you're Dr. Bickham, the football agent?
No, I'm not a qualified football agent, but I did research within the football agent field on what their role is in the commercial representation.
What are you doing phoning up talkSPORT? Phoning up the wrong station, yeah? Doctors don't phone up this station.
Oh, no, God.
We know. But, yeah.
All right, Bickham. Well, listen, mate. Top man.
Cheers, Doc.
Thanks for your call.
I'm Jason Cundy.
Jason Cundy.
Cheers, Doc.
Oh, dear.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.